talking to reporters across Florida about topics everyone should know about.
Flooding now, we're at a state of emergency.
There's a lot of things missing, like 20 state sheriff's departments.
Listen to The Point every weekday morning at 9:51 on WUFT News.
Supported by the High Springs Emporium, featuring rocks and minerals from around the world. Now open 7 days a week. Masks required. Appointments preferred. At 386-454-8657.
Catching you up on the latest stories from around the Sunshine State that you should know heading into this Thursday, May 27th. I'm Erika Clesi, and this is The Point from WUFT News. Gainesville Police Advisory Council members brought up concerns over the Gainesville Police Department's body camera usage during their meeting Wednesday night. The concerns follow a body camera presentation given by GPD a few months ago in which when body cameras should be turned on was brought up. This left Advisory Council member Keon Young, who attended the meeting, with some questions. I spoke to WUFT reporter Violet Comber-Wilen about the issues discussed at the meeting. Here's Violet.
So there were several things on the agenda tonight. The one that I was looking the most into was the body-worn cameras. There were some issues that the Police Advisory Council had with those, just thinking that they weren't super effective. And there was also some miscommunication about the way that officers had them on and that they may not be turning them on at the right times. And there may be some delay when they do turn them on.
In your interview, you had Police Advisory Council member Keon Young. He mentioned his concerns about body camera use. What were his concerns, and how can body cam footage be used to a police officer's advantage? Could you give an example?
So yes, this was part of what he had heard at a police advisory meeting several meetings ago. It was back in March. A police officer had given a presentation on the meeting, and to Keon's understanding, it sounded like there was a delay when you do start the police body camera within 2 to 3 minutes. But he ended up finding out when the police inspector spoke today that that was not actually the case. There isn't a delay when recording police body camera footage. It actually is that police body camera footage picks up stuff about a minute before you start recording. So it actually was that he had misunderstood what had been said in the meeting before. He did tell me that he still believes there needs to be reform in police body camera footage because a lot of what was discussed in the meeting was just that there's so much body camera footage, and he believed that there should be another member of the Gainesville Police Department that should help sort through the footage and find injustices, because there's so much police body camera footage that, it can be hard sometimes to look through all of it and find issues with it.
Right. So the next question I have for you is that Young mentioned certain steps could be taken to improve transparency with body camera footage. What were these steps that Young mentioned?
So the steps to improve transparency, there was basically, I think I should mention here, the Gainesville Police Department, he said, has been doing a lot towards doing that, but he says they could do more. So there are 2 federal laws that prevent people from being able to look at police body camera footage when there's still an open investigation. That includes the Marcy's Law and the Sunshine Law. And there's not much that the Gainesville Police Department itself can do because this is state and federally ran, these laws, and they basically prevent and protect certain victims during an open investigation and from being able to access these public body camera footage records just until the investigation is over. Otherwise, that could be considered a conflict of interest or it can interfere with the investigation. So he just wanted a better federal system in order to handle this, and in order to kind of bypass some of those rules. He cited a case a few years ago from Gainesville where a young man was beat up by police officers. And this body camera footage took years to come out just because it was an open investigation. And he just thought that there should be a better way to handle this. Maybe federal laws could be changed a little bit, or there could be more people to go through footage. He just wanted some better way in order for people to be able to access this body camera footage despite the federal limitations that exist.
So what is Chief Inspector Captain Jamie Koenig's take on body camera use within the Gainesville Police Department?
Now, she says that they're doing a very good job with it. To her knowledge, what she told me was that the entire department instated these body cameras in November of 2020 for everyone. And between January and April, no evidence of misuses based on the body camera footage reviews. They do about 2 video reviews per month. They have 1 staff member that already looks it over, and they're hiring another 2. And she said that there's over 32,000 videos that are turned in and stored on the cloud-based software in the police department. Department. And she also said it's good to have it vice versa as well. If they find that a police officer is complained about, they can go back and check the body camera footage. So ultimately, she says that it's good for the department. No one's really complaining to her knowledge, and there have been very few to none evidence of misuses or any misconduct with the body cameras.
That was WUFT's Violet Comber-Wilen with information on last night's Police Advisory Council meeting. For more on this story and news that matters to you, visit WUFT.org. Now let's get into some top headlines for today. Cruises may come back to Florida ports soon. According to the Orlando Sentinel, Port Canaveral officers are optimistic that cruises could get approval to begin test sailing as early as June or July. Royal Caribbean has already received the okay from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to do a simulated sailing from Port Miami, and similar requests for Port Canaveral have already been filed. Cruise ships have been under CDC orders that have halted sailing from U.S. ports since March 2020. The CDC recently issued formal guidance on how sailing could return. Florida's positivity rate for new COVID-19 cases is at the lowest mark since last October. According to member station WUSF, the Florida Department of Health reported on Wednesday new coronavirus cases dropped to 3.54%. Statewide, there are currently 2,059 people hospitalized due to complications of COVID-19. As of Tuesday, over 10 million Floridians have been vaccinated, with 8 million having reached full vaccination. Late Tuesday, a helicopter crash occurred near the Leesburg Airport in Central Florida. According to member station WMFE, 4 people were on board the helicopter, which was being used for a test flight. The helicopter belonged to Firehawk Helicopters, a private contractor which helps battle wildfires. The National Transportation Safety Board is leading an investigation over the next few days. The Florida Forest Service posted condolences for the lost crew on Facebook. Only one body has been recovered so far. Gainesville city officials are expanding a policy which will allow for vaccinated city employees who show proof of vaccination the ability to operate under fewer COVID-19 restrictions. Gainesville's public information officer says this is completely voluntary. According to Florida Politics, this tests Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' emergency order which prevents the use of vaccine passports. A new state law, Senate Bill 2006, allows entities to enact their own rules about screening protocols, as long as those protocols are, quote, consistent with authoritative or controlling government-issued guidance to protect public health. Subscribe to The Point newsletter, which drops the latest stories into your inbox daily at 8 a.m. Head over to WUFT.org for more info. It's just a click away. I'm Erika Clesi, and you've been listening to The Point from WUFT News out of the University of Florida. Have a great week.